Well, let's start tonight's show. Got a message from Co Club today. Thanks for contacting me, bud. Brought up an interesting subject. Should we talk about post-apocalyptic sci-fi television series? Z for Zachariah and Survivors. I don't think I remember Z for Zachariah. The name's familiar. Hello, Consultate. I hope you've had a good week. And since Sunday. ICO Club, tonight's chat and conversation is really into it. Post-apocalyptic science fiction and fantasy. So it's going to be sort of interesting, really. I remember Survivors? I think they remade it, didn't they? I remember the gritty sort of start to it, in the original series. Hello, Jane. Hope you've had a good week. How are you? Survivors. It was a classic. The guy, Terry. I think Terry Nation wrote it, didn't he? Survivors. I think he did. So it was like it started off with this guy, he drops this stuff on him, and he ends up coming through British customs and airport, and so he's got this virus, and it spreads everywhere like a rabies virus, and it's pretty dark, really. And I think it ran for about 3 or 4 seasons, and it were pretty scary. About these survivors who drove around in a van. I think they were trying to start a colony up in that, and they were coming into different factions that had survived the disease that had killed like 80-90% of the planet, and you had like people running about foaming at the mouth. I suppose it's pre-zombies, but yeah, post-apocalyptic sci-fi. Anything from Mad Max, Jeremiah. I don't know if you've seen that. All right, Cold. I'm watching 70s sci-fi again at the moment. A very good series that went on for 3 seasons. It had Caroline Seymour in it, who also appeared on Steptone's Son movie. I remember the movie when he got married. It's a classic, is that, isn't it? Wow. Day of the Triffids as well. A friend of mine's wife were in that. He's an actor friend of mine. His wife were in that. He got married to one of the main cast in it, Day of the Triffids from the 70s. So, and oh wow, she's in Star Trek TNG as well. Caroline Seymour, and it also appeared on Steptone's Son and movie Star Trek TNG. Good God, I remember Steptone's Son, the movie. But Survivors were a strange one. I don't think that it didn't finish. I haven't seen it. It's been a while since I've seen it. I will dig up the soundtrack to it, actually. Hang on. Let's see if I can get the soundtrack up. I've got to sort of mix it out so I can get it all sorted out. I'm going to do it this weekend. Right, Survivors. Let's go Survivors. Right, Survivors. It were really scary stuff, back in the 70s. Right. Survivors. Right. Survivors. Right. Put an S in. That Survivors. Babies. Right. Survivors TV series. All right. Oh, yeah. Well, guys, Survivors is on YouTube. The whole series. Survivors, episode 1, The Fourth Horseman. Right, let's. Oh, here it is. Yeah, that's it. It's that guy in China with a medical mask on. Drops this, like, bubble. Survivors. Good God. This was post-apocalyptic, this one. Yeah, I think it was like a germ warfare weapon, wasn't it? Yeah, Russia. Oh, yeah, definitely. And oh, God, I've not seen this in decades. That is, yeah, it's spread out all over. Well, this passport's been stamped. Yeah, blood everywhere. Good God. Survivors. That's pretty creepy stuff. Right, here we go. You know, so surviving. I'm so, Casotis Anderson, I'm so sick of zombies. Well, yeah, I think we're getting a bit bored of zombies. Last thing I saw with zombies were a series where they all got jobs. I'm being serious. It was a TV series where zombies became part of society. I'd switched it off. I can't be bothered with zombies anymore. I'm of the same feeling of you, Casoti. Cold surviving. Oh, Cold. Nice fine with the music, man. Cheers, bud. Jade, Sapphire and Steel or Quatermass? Sapphire and Steel. Joshua, man. I know, Joshua, man, please up. How are you, bud? Oh, you've had a good week. I know this is nothing to do with sci-fi today, but I got a bag of Skittles and my dad took off me and didn't give my money back. Oh, right. Well, you know, Skittles. We all like Skittles, you know. Sorry to hear that. You know, so yeah. So Skittles, Zombies, and Survivor. It's getting quite interesting. Yeah, post-apocalyptic science fiction. I mean, where do we go with this? I mean, anybody got any suggestions? I've got Logan's Run, the TV series. Battlestar Galactica, that is an apocalypse, the original series. Mad Max, you know. Jeremiah, the TV series. Oh, does anybody remember that film with Don Johnson, which was a cult classic, set after a nuclear war? And he had a dog that was telepathic and they could talk to each other. Does anybody remember that one? I forgot what the film's called. Jet, I'd love a Fallout series, really. Do you know, Fallout's crazy. I had a discussion with a friend of mine about that game, you know, about all them bunkers with all them crazy experiments. I'd like to see a Fallout TV series. I really would. I've got a Pip Boy. You know the Pip Boy? I've got one of them. And I've got the helmet. You know, yeah, it's pretty crazy Fallout, but the last game got panned, didn't it? Totally. Joshua Man, I know this is all right. Joshua Man plays yeah, and apparently I got hyper. Well, yeah, well, that's it. I've heard rumors that if you have loads of Skittles, you gain superpowers. You know. I guess Skittles are a high value food. I suppose they are. Well, we're going to need Skittles in the post apocalyptic world that's coming, you know. Joshua, wow, good value food. Skittles that apparently get me hyper. Oh, Fred's. Oh, God, yeah, Fred's. We saw that at school, you know. Back in 70s, you know, Fred's. I think they had to show it as a propaganda thing with Cold War. You know, about... do you remember that? You know, you got instructed out that you stuck a mattress under your staircase and you painted your windows white with a radio and several bottles of water, and you sit there for 2 weeks and you close your curtains. Like, I'm sure if a nuke's being dropped on you at 50 megatons, painting your windows white is going to really have it's really going to have an effect on you. Do you know what I mean? God, I mean, honestly, right. I mean, if it were all going to kick off and a nuke were going to come and drop on top of where I live, I am not going to paint my windows white and hide under the staircase. I think I'd rather be under bang. You know what I mean? Get it over and done with. Yeah, I don't know, though. It would be interesting, though, wouldn't it? I mean, because it post-apocalyptic films, like ones I've seen over years, people have mohawks and like Mad Max, and they're all wearing leather and driving like Tesco trolleys turned into cars with steam engines on, you know. Pretty out there, but I don't know if I'd be into that. Right, hang on. Cold. Another classic was Fred's, which really got darker. It did, yeah. Because the Americans did an equivalent to Fred's, didn't they? Another Day or something. Did you ever see the American version that come out? About life after an atomic war. Well, apparently, has anybody started watching Chernobyl yet? I've got first couple of episodes on a memory stick. I've got so much to watch. I've got to start on some of this stuff. But Fred's, it scared me as a kid. Honestly, guy, we saw that at school. I was about 10, and we all sat in an assembly hall, right? We had to watch that. And I remember saying to my dad, I said, I saw this film about bombs being done. He said, you want to hope that we're under it, watching TV at the time, not, so I don't know. I mean, maybe, we'd create the new world order after. The Postman. Have you seen The Postman with Kevin Costner? That is one of my all-time favourite films. Emmett sold photocopiers and he became this big fanatical general. Superb film. It was so underrated. The Postman, how we brought civilization back. Fantastic movie. Right. Wow, good value foods. Casute. Oh, Fred's was terrifying. Still is. In fact, it's on YouTube, as well. Casute Sanson. I have those too. Wow. Casute too. Jane. A Boy and His Dog. That's it. Yeah. 1975. God. Yeah, I ain't seen that in a good few years. Don Johnson's about 18, isn't he? A Boy and a Dog is a weird movie. It is. Last time I saw it, we were on Channel 4 about 1 o'clock in the morning. When they had the weird theme nights where they showed like all these weird type movies. Club. Oh no, not that one. That had me in tears. That when they both sat on deck chairs and another one when the wind blows. God, that is so sad. I read the sort of graphic novel to it years ago, and it was terrifying. Where they just they're just carrying on leading the life, making tea, and do you know what I mean? I was in tears, and the film of it is really sad. I don't think I could handle sitting on that because they're such a lovely couple, aren't they? Jane Turner, The Last Man on Earth, 1964. You're going back there. I remember that, yeah. Crazy film that was. Jane, Westworld, 1973. Not quite post-apocalyptic, Jane. Not quite it, but a classic science fiction. Chernobyl spelling is excellent. Really highly recommend it. It's mostly based on science facts. Well, yeah, that happened about 20 years ago, didn't it, Chernobyl? Didn't it? Hang on, let me turn V down. It happened about 20 years ago, did that, didn't it? Do you know what I mean? And we haven't seen any mutants like 15-foot cockroaches coming out of there, but it is sad what happened. But I saw some stuff on YouTube that animals are now living there, and there is some people have actually moved in. They're actually living in some buildings because they've got nowhere to go. Do you remember another post-apocalyptic movie? Jan Michael Vincent and George Papard, Damnation Alley. Damnation Alley. That's a classic. The Ultimate Warrior. Oh, yeah, Jane, that's a good shot. The Ultimate Warrior. Oh, Cold, one of my all-time favourite films. Chuck Heston, he did these like epic apocalyptic films, didn't he? Did Chuck, Planet of the Apes, Omega Man. And he did, all these like other sort of movies on that level. But Omega Man's brilliant. Did you like the Will Smith remake? When I was on this course, years, everybody used to call it I Am Legend. But Omega Man's fantastic. When he died, like, with his cure on that cross, so at the end, it was quite a powerful symbol of a message with them, like, blue disease zombies and that. Brilliant film. So, isn't the BBC remaking Fred's? Yes, they are. I've seen that, actually. They are. And apparently, where's War of the Worlds? On Amazon, they've got a video cover for it. No release date, but coming pre-order War of the Worlds, and it said made by ITV. So I thought BBC were doing War of the Worlds. Honestly, it's on Amazon. Check it out, guys. But when are we getting War of the Worlds? It's not quite Victorian times. It's going to be set during the First World War. But the History Channel did make a documentary of War of the Worlds where they used First World War footage and they put Martian walkers in it and all this and created this film footage of that way we're all fighting them during the First World War, which was really interesting. Jane, Chernobyl happened in 1986. It did. So it's been a good few years. Oh my God, it better be coming. Well, I hope so. But there is, if you go on YouTube, the History Channel did make like this film documentary where they're using First World War footage and CGI'd in Martian walkers and created like a film that if they turned up then, which is really good. But I've seen the walkers for the BBC production. I wasn't that impressed with the walkers. They're like a flying saucer with legs. So I don't know. There's only about one or two pictures of them, not very much. Hang on. We need them both. I think we need Fred's remade. I think that would wake a lot of people up today, to be honest, with what's going on. Do you know what I mean? Good. I liked I Am Legend, but it wasn't as good as Omega Man. I totally agree. Omega Man's a classic, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I've got that on Blu-ray, you know, Omega Man. I might dig that out on my folder. I've not seen it for a few years. I Am Legend were all right. It was, but Omega Man, I know what you mean. It had that 70s. I think the 70s really did the post-apocalyptic thing really well. They're putting that weirdness with it, you know. Jane, the Road. Oh God, and the Book of Eli. Yep, it's the Book of Eli. Brilliant film. The Bible in Braille, isn't it? It's the only copy left. But it's based on a graphic novel, is that, Jane, as well? And I went to cinema to see that, you know. I thought this is a really good film, but it did do that well at the cinema. Zombieland. Here we got Zombieland. Is that the series where they've started where they all get jobs and we live with them? I don't think I don't know about zombies. I just think, what else can you do with zombies now? I think we've done everything. It's like vampires, isn't it? It'd be a good one, say like a post-atomic horror with vampire. Oh yeah, I think we've had that, haven't we? Vampires ruling the world after a nuclear war. But definitely post-apocalyptics. Bill Murray's in Zombieland. Yes, he is. Hang on. 28 Days Later. Yeah, brilliant film. Have you seen the sequels to that as well, Jane? Cold Night of the Comet, Catherine Mary Stewart. Yeah, I used to rent that all the time on video, you know. Did you say Last Night at the Comet with Robert Belton? Chakotay on Voyager. Yes, he was in that. What about The Last of Us? It should be done. No, I've not seen that. When did that come out and who's in it? You know, yes, I like more 28 Days Later. Yeah, I like the 28 Days series, Jane. I thought they were really good. But I'd like to say, what about The Last of Us? It should be done. I'm quite fascinated by that. On Sunday, somebody was going on about The Lake, the film about Yasmin Bleeth, where people are coming out of this lake and duplicating everybody. I've actually found it, so I'm going to order that film. About The Last of Us, it should be done. Yes, I like 28 More Days. No, Logan's Run, the TV series, were good as well. And Planet of the Apes, the TV series, was pretty cool as well. Definitely post-apocalyptic. For me, I think the 70s really did it on stuff like that. I don't know why. I think they just did. You know. Oh, yeah. The TV series, what? Well, apparently, I was reading up season 2. They would have ended up in the Forbidden Zone. You know where Galen and Verdon and Burke, they would have ended up in the Forbidden Zone and found an equivalent to the Underdwellers and there were other things out there beyond the borders with General Urko in pursuit, which I would have loved to have seen the TV series get to that because it was a very high quality series. It really was. Oh God, what's this? Some really cheesy science fiction. Oh, the Jetsons. Bloody hell, Jetsons. I don't know why I've got Jetsons on. I really need to get a life. Uh, hang on. Planet of the Apes, fantastic. Jane, the Hunger Games, Maze. Oh, I love Maze Runner. And I really did enjoy the Divergent trilogy. It's a shame we're not getting the fourth movie, Jane. The last movie bombed, and they did try to make the final one as the TV movie, but it's not happening, so you'll have to read the book. But Divergent series is brilliant. Club Miracle Mile was good, although it was leading up to Post Apocalypse. I've not seen that, mate. I'll have to check that out, Miracle Mile. You know. Oh, God, Galaxy Quest. So, hang on. Now the comment, Miracle Mile. I mean, do you remember all them that came out on VHS in the 80s, like Bronx Warriors and all that type of stuff? They were made in like Italy. They were these like cheap, like Road Warrior movies. I saw a box set of them other day. Where were it? I think it was in CEX, Bronx Warriors and stuff, all set in a post-apocalyptic world. Really cheap. They're all on motorbikes. And there's like a gang of them always like trying to take over, you know. And there were a lot of films like that back in 80s on video. I think a lot of them were Italian, which they were quite cheap and nasty, but you rented them out, you know. They're going to make, The 100, which I think is one of the best TV things out there at the moment. Club Miracle Mile was good also. It was leading up to Post Apocalypse. Jane, they're going to make the prequels of The Hunger Games. Oh, that'll be interesting. Where that, about how that president come to power. Cassotti Center, what about, oh God, I've not seen The Tribe. That's the Australian one, isn't it? I never got round to watching that. Shaun of the Dead, yep, definitely. You know, but I think I've seen that. I think I caught some at Tribe, the odd episode on Channel 5 years ago. But I never saw I sort of like, it's like Neighbours. When it went to Channel 5, you sort of forgot about it, didn't you? You know, when it was established on a certain channel, if they move it somewhere, you forget about it, don't you? Yeah, it used to be on 5, yeah. I know it was a big hit though, wasn't it? Not a fan of Resident Evil movies. I'm half and half on Resident Evil. I don't know, it just seems to go on forever for me, Resident Evil. I think we're on to the final movie this year, aren't we? You know. But I mean, there is some great Res wasn't done right. Well, I saw the first one, which I didn't mind years ago, and I think I gave up after 3. I think I saw 2 when I remember watching 3. I didn't see them at cinema though. I sort of got them on DVD and stuff. You know, I prefer the games, to be honest, on PlayStation 2. Copeland, do you remember that film on the beach where there was a nuclear water radiation was heading to Australia, where the last survivors were making the most of their last day? Yeah, that's from the 60s, and it's a classic film. Is that? It's a classic film because, yeah, that man and woman, I think they get there by submarine, don't they? And rest of the world's dying, and Australia's the last holdout. But the radio, I think everybody dies ending that. That was done in the 60s. That is classed as one of the best science fiction movies ever made. You know? Do you remember the time travel one from the 50s? Oh, I forgot. It's called The Time Travelers, where it were from that sort of time what you're on about, Coco, where these scientists they create like a projector screen and they're in a room, but they can move through time through projector screen and step through it, and they end up in a post-apocalyptic world. It's an insane film, you know. Oh, when worlds collide as well. When world collides, honestly, and there is a sequel to that. When worlds collide, there was a second book which was going to be turned into a film. If you go on Wikipedia and type in "When Worlds Collide," you'll see it. When Worlds Collide 2 about life on that planet. They weren't the only ones that escaped from Earth. There were other groups like the Russians and other people from other countries. And one lot tries dominating the other, and there's a dead alien civilization there that was more advanced than us, and it's about their survival. It looks really good, you know, the concepts of it. So it's a shame. I would like to see When Worlds Collide remade with the sequel. Hang on, Resident Evil wasn't done right, not dark enough. Coco, do you remember that film on the beach? There was, yep. Jane, Escape from New York and Escape from LA. I don't know if they're classed as post. I suppose you could class that as sort of going post-apocalyptic, Jane. It's like breakdown of society at the doorway of post-apocalyptic. Do you know what I mean? Like Mad Max, the first one, society's just hanging on. But second one, they just kicked off a big nuclear war, haven't they? You know. Coquelin, haven't seen the Time Travelers, but it sounds good. When Worlds Collides was great. It was a great film. The Time Travel, it's on YouTube, mate. It's an insane film. You're in this room, these sound like a screen, and they think they can look into it's like a projector. They think they can look into the future, and then a mutant jumps through it, and that's when they realise they can uh, go into the future, and they do. And it's insane because it's a right weird ending. I don't want to spoil it because when you get your head round it, you're going to be like, bloody hell, that's just done my head in. But it's a classic sci-fi movie. It's from the yeah. And what I'll tell you what's weird about it because that like late 50s, when people step outside the screen in the other world, you can see the room where they've stepped out of. You know, like the screen here, and that's just hovering in midair like that, and it's weird. You know, that's before Doctor Who. So, but there is some. I mean, I don't know. There is some pretty cool post-apocalyptic stuff out there, especially like TV stuff. I mean, I think we've covered the zombies, haven't we, and the vampires as well. You know, and I think there was a film where with demons as well after post-apocalyptic thing, wasn't there? You know, I forgot what that was called. Your favorite movie from the Younger Games? I'd say the first one, but I did like the final two actually. You know, the final two. I liked how Donald Sutherland's character. There was a very clever message in Hunger Games because when the rebels challenged, when the rebels took over and got rid of the when they got rid of the president, when that rebel leader, she set up another Hunger Games, didn't she? And she turned up, character kid, I forgot her name, but she turned up and did her with bow and arrow, didn't she? And he started laughing because the rebels were no different to the lot before, and she ended the cycle. And that's what I liked about Hunger Games. Hunger Games is really good. I like Maze Runner though. I thought Maze Runner, especially the final film, were pretty good. You know, it was a good set of movies for Maze Runner. I was really impressed. I never went to see him at cinema. I got him on DVD. Um, Jane Turner, played by Julian Moore. Yeah, yeah. So Hunger Games was good. It's a shame about the Divergent series, though. It never took off, you know. But Coco, didn't they bring Survivors back? It came back a couple of years ago, didn't it? It came back a couple of years ago, didn't it? Survivors. They did. I'm sure BBC remade it, you know. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it took off though, did it? But they remade Quatermass, didn't they, BBC? And they were terrible, weren't they? You know. Quatermass, though, the one with John Mills, that was very post-apocalyptic. I mean, society, the world has just gone to the toilet, hasn't it, by in that. You know, when them aliens were harvesting our bodies and stuff. And the flower people, do you remember the flower people in that? And they sent the energy of a nuclear bomb back through that teleportation beam, you know. And it stopped after that. But I mean, that was pretty amazing. I like the concepts of that. Places like Stonehenge and Wembley, that was, you know, like transport things. Jane, Invasion of the Body Snatcher or Invasion of, I like both, Jane. I think the 50s one stands out as a classic, and you can't knock that, because if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't have got the others. So the first one, but the 1970s version with Leonard Nimoy and Donald Sutherland was spectacular, and what an ending! The ending was terrifying when Donald Sutherland just turned around and went, you know, with his hand like that, just went like that, screaming. I saw that and it just freaked me out. It totally freaked me out, did that ending of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I think the 50s were more about paranoia, wasn't it, and the Cold War. But I think the 70s one were more horror. But they remade that with Nicole Kidman, didn't they? And that was bloody awful. That was. Did you see that with Nicole Kidman? It was terrible. Hang on, Coco. Survivors did come back, but it just felt artificial. The original just felt realistic when it was filmed mostly in winter in the first series, and it wasn't over the top. Yeah, I agree with that, because like I didn't see the new one, but I can imagine what it will have been like. But with the original black and white one, it had that British winter setting. It made it more that feeling of a desperate. Well, you know, like winter. Do you remember them really bad winters we get when it's all grey and miserable? It had that in it. It was never sunny and blue skies, was it? You know. So yeah, I agree with that. Because that was really, really freaky. I remember that as well. Yeah, yeah, from Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Yeah. Honestly, I think it still scares me a bit today. You know, when Donald Sutherland does that, it really freaks me out. Jen, I agree. The remake is awful. What of Survivors? I prefer the original 70s one. I prefer. I don't know. I just think there's certain things that just can't be remade anymore. I just don't seem to get it. Oh God, yeah. All right, Tiger. How are you, bud? Good to hear from you. Soylent Green. Now we're talking. Charlton Heston, Amiga Man, Soylent Green, where everybody ended up as a biscuit. Hey, and Rollerball as well. That is not. It's set in the world after a war, isn't it? Rollerball, James Caan, classic, another 70s classic movie with Princess Ardella in it as well from Buck Rogers. But Soylent Green, I hope they don't remake that. I mean, Soylent Green had a spectacular cast, didn't it? They can't remake that, and if they did, I don't think I'd bother with it. So, well, Soylent Green, it has a lot of standing today with greenhouse effects and all that, doesn't it? So I got a wonderful post-apocalyptic movie dealing with overpopulation. Well, we are now, aren't we? I think the planet can sustain 10 million at the max after that. And plus, with what's going on, we need to change. Great believer in climate change. It's pretty scary. I'm not an authority on it, but I do what I watch and what I see is, in 50 years' time. So I got Rollerball. Love that film. It is a fantastic film, and the message in it as well with James Caan's character, where he's becoming bigger than the corporations, and that they want him to, because they change the rules of the game, don't they, to death and that. And he survives everything. He just becomes a hero. It's like he's going to challenge the establishment. That's what I love about that film. Called Silent Green. No, I agree, mate. They can never remake Silent Green. It's a classic from that time. I mean, I did review Silent Green. It is depressing, though, isn't it? Silent Running as well. You can call that semi-post-apocalyptic. Silent Running. I mean, we've destroyed the entire environment, haven't we? So we put test ships, on them ships, live in a world of concrete and no nature. So I mean, that time of them type of movies, Silent Green, Omega Man, Silent Running, Rollerball, that were at a time of some really hardcore science fiction, wasn't it? With powerful messages. I think today when they make stuff, they shove it in your face too much, don't they? I'm not getting all political, but I think they go about it the wrong way. Instead of getting a powerful movie across with the message in there saying, look, this could be 20 years from now, this is what could happen. Jane Turner. Jane, the third remake of The Body Snatchers is off. I agree. It was terrible. I couldn't believe what I was watching. But a virus, wasn't it, from outer space? Copeland. I didn't mind the third remake. Actually, not a patch of the first two, but yeah, it was all right. I mean, I wouldn't have gone to cinema to see it. I got it on DVD. I was a bit disappointed with it, but they tried to do something different, didn't they? By making it a virus, and she was a scientist that cured it. I did like the thing of the pod people, though. No, that I really liked all that. But I had a chat with somebody a couple of years ago about Invasion at Body Snatcher. What were the point of them? Because all they do is just copy you and then live your life with no feelings or any emotion. They just replace you and then live in your society, which I found were a bit disappointing. Terminator, post-apocalyptic. Terminator Salvation, do like that film. The Apocalyptic World. Oh, God, Van Damme, Cyborg, Jane. I remember that. Does anybody remember Cyborg, Van Damme? I used to rent that on they were from the days of VHS. Right, Rollerball of that, a Coca-Cola Invasion. All right, a Coca Invasion of Body Snatcher 96 is probably my favourite film, or in my top 5. Definitely, yeah. It's been made 4 times. I thought it was free. Right, I didn't know that. 50s, 78, Body Snatchers 90s. I didn't know. So they did one in 90s. Who was in that then? I've not seen that. The Invasion, last one with Kidman, was crap. Yeah. I think they tried to do something different with that, didn't they? It just didn't work. I know the remaking V is coming to cinema, apparently. V's happening, but it's going to be based on the 80s one, which, if it is, I'm really looking forward to that. I didn't mind the third week. Okay, not a patch of first two, but I'm okay with it. Van Damme, Cyborg, Coco, Silent Running with Huey, Louie, and Dewey, something like that. Yeah, it was. Target Rollerball was an examination of supremacy of corporations. Isn't it amazing that a lot of these 70s post-apocalyptic movies were verging on the prophetic? Yeah, that's what I'm saying about them type of movies, where today they're just shoving it down your throat. Do you know what I mean? But them movies set it out over like 2 hours beautifully. You know, it's like They Live, isn't it? They That were 1985 or something. I saw that at cinema. It predicted today, which it did. Them movies to do. Rollerball. He's one man at challenges. The threat of him becoming a legend can bring down the corporate structure. I suppose for every dictator, there's always going to be like an opposite that will bring that down. Do you know what I mean? You know, but them movies got it so right, didn't they? Back in '70s, they really did. Well, Rollerball's honestly, Tiger, I really like what you said, mate. That's so true. Because I didn't know that sounds cool. Yeah, honestly, James Caan is superb in that movie. They did remake Rollerball in early 2000s, and it were awful. It was absolutely terrible. Jane Turbo Kid. What Turbo Kid? Turbo Kid? Oh, Jane, tell me about Turbo Kid. I've not seen Turbo Kid. You know, Sunday it was Banana Man versus Super Ted. Now it's Turbo Kid. Uh, Tell me about Turbo Kid, Jen. Uh, so yeah, I think. What decade do you think made the best post-apocalyptic television and TV series? What do you think were the best? Do you think the 70s, 80s, 90s, or now? What would you say were the best? For me, I think the 70s came up with the best sort of stuff, like with Damnation Alley. There was a good one with Lee Majors and Lloyd Bridges. Is it Lloyd Bridges? No, not Lloyd Bridges. The dude who played the Penguin in Batman, I forgot his name, in the 60s. And it is on YouTube. I forgot what the film's called. Lee Majors is an ex-racing car driver. Hang on, Jane's it. Right, hang on. Jane's gonna give us the mystery of Turbo Kid. Turbo Kid in IMDb in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. In 1997, a comic book fan adapts the persona of his favorite hero to save his enthusiastic friend and fight a tyrannical overlord. Oh, right. I've checked Turbo Kid out, Jane. Sounds interesting. Uh, Tiger Burgess Meredith. That's it. Honestly, guys, this film, it's Lee Majors, right? It's set in early 2020s. There's no fuel, and America's run by a totalitarian state, but nobody's allowed to use cars. And they're watching you. It's like one of these really enclosed societies. But somebody from outside is sending in radio signals about a place where it's free. It's after economic collapse and all this. And he used to be a great racing car driver. Now he works as a clerk in this office. And his wife dies or something. And he turns against this society. And he's building a racing car. He builds a racing car. And he escapes out of this city. He escapes into outside, like in America, driving across. Well, he sort of becomes a legend in this city. But there's like these people that are free. They've got their own society, they're free and all this. So what they do is they get Burgess Meredith up and they give him an aeroplane, a jet fighter, an old one, and give him some fuel. And he goes hunting him down. Right, it's like racing car versus this old fighter craft, and it's like these two against each other. But they both end up teaming up because he used to be a hot jockey pilot back in the day, and he feels free again, as is Lee, Lee Major. And but one sacrifices the other, so the other gets away. It's an amazing film. Done on a cheap budget. It's a shame. It's a classic. I do recommend it. Lee Majors, Burgess Meredith, about this car and this honest and this really totalitarian state with no feeling. Copeland, 70s or 80s TV for nothing now, though. No, I agree. I think you're right there, bud, because I think with 70s and definitely a lot of the 80s, you got some stuff that really stands out. You know what I mean? What about 1984? I quite like 1984. The one with John Hurt, I thought was the best one, but I've not seen that in years. You know, I've really not seen that in such a long time. The version that featured Richard Burton. Yeah, definitely. Burton's in it and John, yeah, definitely. Oh, God, Steel Dawn with Patrick Swayze. I remember that. God, you're going back there. Do you know, does anybody remember that? Steel Dawn with Patrick Swayze, where he's wandering the post apocalyptic wastelands. You know, there's so much in there. You know, like Steel Dawn, a man and his dog. You know, out there. Did you watch a town? Not Jeremiah. The one about a town called Jericho. Where that town after a nuclear war, but there's a big conspiracy with corporations that have took over America. I think the seventh part of second season was far superior to that. I like The Last Ship. I think The Last Ship is very good. I've not seen the fifth season yet though, so I'm gonna. I'm gonna have to start on that as well. I don't get time to watch all this. I really do. I'd really like to just. I'm watching Jessica Jones. I'm managing to get in about. I got in 2 episodes last night, and I'm out tomorrow. I'm out Friday. I just want to sit down, watch about 8 episodes of Jessica Jones. I think I've got 9 episodes to go. Steel Dawn with Patrick Swayze. Oh God, barbed wire. God, barbed wire. That was terrible, Jed. It was. Does anybody? Oh, I've got Megaforce. Megaforce is superb. Barry Boswick. Only in the 80s, the good guys win. Guys, I do recommend Megaforce. If you honestly, you want the ultimate in cheesiness of movies, and it's a classic. Megaforce is just an out there. Honestly, it's on YouTube actually. Sit down, watch Megaforce. You'll either cringe with sheer embarrassment or just love it as a run. I'm a big fan of Megaforce. I absolutely adore that film. Barbed wire. I mean, it was terrible, wasn't it? Pamela Anderson. I didn't go to see that. I saw it on video. So I got a Megaforce 1980 Jane classic movie. I've got that on DVD. I quite like the 1965 version of 1984, but that's really because of Peter Cushing as Winston Smith. Oh God, you're going back. I saw that as a kid, but I've got more memories of the John Hurt one than that. Oh, say you know the other one. Oh, what's it called? It's in color now. I watched it on Amazon. Uh, Wings Over the World. Things to Come. Not the second one, please. Not that with Barry Morse. I'm on about the original with Michael Massey. Raymond Massey, sorry. You can watch it on Amazon in color now. It's pretty nasty in color, actually. Like the colorness looks really cheesy. But yeah. Jericho TV series. Copeland, just check Megaforce as the 3 to 5 rated on IDMB. Honestly, mate, it's one of them films. It's so bad, it's funny. And it's worth a night's entertainment. It's so cheap. Devon's in it from Knight Rider. And Erwin Baldhead from the Princess Kambata from Star Trek. She's in it, but it's the hero Barry Boswick. He's so cheesy. He looks like a BG. They're like Shield. They're like this secret military organization. They're called the Megaforce, and they have like laser guns and all this, and they take out stuff around the world. They're like a secret forth are not meant to exist. And they've got these futuristic vehicles. They have motorbikes that can fly. When you see that, oh, mate, it's terrible. But honestly, mate, put the kettle on, sit down, and get prepared to get your head done in. Only you've got to try Megaforce. I'm going to review Megaforce at some point. The best thing to do, type it in on YouTube, Coquelin. Seriously, type in Megaforce, right, and just watch some clips. He comes out with us. There's a great scene where he knocks on Baddy's tank and he opens tank. There's all these bombs going off, and he's like staring at me, and he's like there. He wears a headband and he's got a BG's beard, and he's going, "Only in the 80s, the good guys win." And he gets on his flying motorbike, and it's so cheesy. Make of Megaforce what you will. Megaforce is one of them things. Is where did they get the money for that? There was actually a toy range that came out for it as well, because I think at the time they did put the money into it, but it's absolutely terrible. I've had friends over years have said, I saw this film on BBC one afternoon and it was absolutely bloody stupid. It was so insane. I couldn't turn it off. I thought, is this for real? It's one of them films. Just check Megaforce as a 3.5 Tiger. Yeah, I did mention Mad Max, but yes, you've got a good point there, because I enjoyed the Mad Max trilogy, and I would like to see Mel Gibson come back as like an old Mad Max, on his last ride out to victory. I think they should bring him back as like the old Wolverine. He's in the desert still feeling sorry for himself. You know how they do these like stranger types. But definitely. No, Coquelin, you've got to check it out. Megaforce. Trust me, you'll either be screaming at me or you'll think, what the bloody hell am I watching here? But I'd check out clips on YouTube first. Yeah, but Mad Max, did you see the last Mad Max one? What would it call? The last Mad Max film with, what they call him? That actor. Played Bane in Batman. I forgot his name now. But he played a fantastic Mad Max, didn't he? He really made that part his own, didn't he? Summit Road. Thunder Road or something? Mad Max. Fury Road. That was fantastic, wasn't it? I thought it was. No, you got a good point. I liked Mad Max 3. Did you like number 3? I really, with Tina Turner song, I really enjoyed number 3. I actually went to see that at cinema. My dad got me into it first too. He sort of rented them out on video, The Road Warrior, because he inspired all the Road Warrior movies, didn't he? But I'd like to see Mel Gibson really reprise that role again. But on his last sort of fight saves a load of people, and he goes out a hero. And the builds Buck Rogers. That is post-apocalyptic, isn't it? Especially the pilot movie for the series when he goes back to the Chicago and the atomic wasteland. It is really incredible. Fury Road, Tom Hardy. That's it. Yes, Jen. Tiger. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. No, it was brilliant film. Martin, have you seen Jericho? Yes, I like. Yes, I have. Yes, I preferred the second season. I thought the first season was too long. I really did. Jen, Hands of Steel, Atomic. Oh God, Hands of Steel and Atomic Cyborg with Daniel Green and John Saxon. Yeah, they did. And Wings Hauser. He did a load of them. Didn't he? Post Atomic movies. Wings Hauser. Fury Road was brilliant. Coquelin, what did you think of Time Machine, where the world is split between the underground Morlocks and the peaceful but dumb Eloy? Fantastic. And I actually enjoyed the Spielberg one as well. I'll probably get panned for saying that. I thought the Spielberg one added a lot more to it. about the Morlocks and that they had a leadership and like this intellect behind it. I thought Jeremy Irons were great in that. But I think the 60s one had that. It, the 60s one is one of them films you'll go back to it every year. Or if you come in and it's on in the background, you'll just sit down, start watching it. And if you get the DVD of it, there's actually a little extension of like a 10-minute movie. Which is honestly there is where but Rod Taylor he made it years later. It's only 10 minutes long, but he comes back for his friend from the future and says, "You're gonna die next week, and I've come back to sort of save you." All right, Kasute, I will say, yeah. Have a great weekend and yeah, speak soon. I should be on Sunday. I don't know yet. I'm going to a comic mart. I'm hoping to be back in time. If not, it will be next Wednesday. So, right, I'm off to speak to you all soon. Have a great week, Kasute. Have you seen Jericho TV series? Yes, Jane. I said that, yeah. How long have we done? Right. Well, I've done nearly an hour tonight, guys. So I'm going to get off. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. It's been an interesting show. I stay longer, but I've got a busy day tomorrow. So I've got to get ready for that. But hopefully I'll be on Sunday. If not, I will be on next Wednesday at 7:00, definitely. I'm at a comic mart, so I'm going to try and film it live on my phone and stream bits of the comic mart on Sunday so you'll get a look at it. I know I go there quite a lot, actually. Do recommend it, Right, hang on. Right, I'm off to speak to Jane. Have you seen it? Yep, 2009. Target, thank you once again, Matt. Thank you for tuning in, bud. I look forward to thank you, Coklud. Thank you, Kasoti. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Right, I will see you hopefully Sunday at 7:00. Thanks, Coklud, for that. Really enjoyed it. There's so much to get through, isn't there? So we could just spend 2 hours on one movie. Really getting into the feeling of it. All right, Jane, I will see you all Sunday at 7. Hopefully I will be on if I can get back. If I can't, I will put a reminder up, but definitely next Wednesday. All right, guys, have an awesome week. I'm going to get back to Jessica Jones, finally. Probably get 3 episodes in. And I will speak to you all soon. So have a great week, guys. It's been awesome as usual. Oh, God. We'll leave Waking Dead for next time, Jane. All right, then. And Jane, you still not answered who would win between Super Ted and Banana Man. Let me know on the next show. All right, guys. Have a great week and take care. And I will speak to you all soon.